And we have one more champion who will be coming over to meet you, and that is 124 pounds. That young lady is Eshihalo of Hawaii. Once again, we need all of our All-Americans at 95, 101, 108, 115, and 124 to the chairs of honor, please, in front of the head table.
Check, check.
And one more reminder, we need
Check.
a representative from the state of the champion also at those chairs of honor to present
Now.
the awards.
Yeah. Five weight classes to do awards, and then 5 more finals. What we have coming up, 132, Maya Nelson of Denver, Colorado. A runner-up last year against Tatum Sparks of Washington, who was 5th. Alex Blue of New York. Schoolgirl national champ last year. Against Rachel Waters of Ankeny, Iowa, who was a folk style runner-up at nationals. That also last year. Then to 154, Kenya Spencer of Michigan. This year's folk style nationals champion. In both juniors and cadets. Against Brittany Yost of California, who was 3rd in her state freestyle championships. 172 will be Texas. Their only finalist, Taylor Rosario, who won body bar this year, against Melina Sanchez of Baldwin Park, California, a runner-up a year ago here. And our final match of the night will be Nadine Feig of Florida, another body bar champion, against Ryan Gibbons of Rochester, Washington, a champion here a year ago.
That'll be a good one to end the night for sure.
So in the first 5 weights, Richard, who were you most impressed with?
You know, that's a tough call. Aloe looked pretty dang tough, but you know, so did
I would say
Yanez.
Aloe,
She
I would
looked the
say was most impressive.
Yeah, most technically impressive.
Yanez, I would say, but we knew Aloe coming in, right?
Right.
Yanez, I mean, that was ultra impressive, but it was a little surprising as well how dominant she was against a returning champ. So, I don't know. Those two for me were the highlights of the first half.
I would say so. I would tend to agree with you. I don't do that often.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our All-American.
And we'll take you to the awards.
In 4th place from Texas, All-American Alma Cardenas.
I believe, will take you to the awards.
I think they're going to do that. They're going to walk across the stage here.
Texas All-American Alma
Gotcha.
Rodriguez. Placing third for Virginia, All-American Rebecca Forsythe. The runner-up from Wisconsin, All-American Brooke Thurber. And ladies and gentlemen,
Brooke Thurber, your runner-up. Mackenzie Passage
national champion
is your 95-pound
Mackenzie Passage.
national champion in cadet women freestyle.
Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting our
All right, you got the 101-pound awards here.
placing fourth for Indiana, All-American Lindsay Rosansky. In third place for Oregon, All-American Emmeline Lindsay. The runner-up for California.
This weight was a little tricky. You had the round robin situation up at the top. Lindsay wrestled up here in the finals on the stage, but she ends up getting third place due to record.
Genesis Patterson holds up the cadet national champion stop sign for the first time ever in women's wrestling for the state of South Carolina. Irmo, South Carolina, same town as Tim Dudley,
Tim
who
Dudley.
was third last year in third or fourth in men's junior freestyle, and now at Nebraska.
Congratulations.
Moving to 108 pounds.
108 pounds in eighth place from California, All-American Martina Valdez. Placing second for California, All-American Alia Gould.
California with 3 placers in this weight.
In sixth place from California,
Eighth.
All-American Nicole Matz.
7th and 1st.
For Florida, All-American McKaylee Brooks. In fourth place from Washington,
Excuse me, 7th, 6th, and 1st.
in third place from New York, All-American Jennifer.
Yeah, California probably the deepest state for women's wrestling.
Yeah, they have a good turnout every year. As a matter of fact, last year in duels, California A beat California B in the finals.
That's right.
Or 1, 2, whatever you want to call them. Both California teams made the finals. And Angelica Yanis, very impressive. I would go so far as to say the skill set that she showed, I bet you she's going to be on the circuit for a long time, really high on the ladder. She's got a bright future.
I would agree with you on that one.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our All-Americans in 115.
115-pound All-Americans coming to the stage for you.
All-American Stephanie Nade.
Led by Marcy Van Dusen,
The seventh place
big part of that California movement.
All-American Madison Seals. In sixth place from California, All-American Anastasia Ramirez. The fifth place finisher from California, All-American Victoria Smith. Placing fourth for Texas,
Washington had quite a few, a good numbers-wise this year.
in third place for Washington, All-American
Speak of Washington. Got third place finish here.
Sugiyama, your runner-up from Idaho.
Carl Sugiyama. Ladies and
And Gabrielle Garcia,
2013 115
your champion at 115 pounds.
from California, Gabrielle Garcia.
115 She got to hold it up, Richard. She didn't hold up the stop
Oh,
sign.
they're getting it. There it goes.
There it goes.
It's bad juju if you don't hold up the stop sign.
Juju? Is it like Mojo?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And our final awards before the break, or before wrestling resumes, I should say.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the All-Americans at 100.
You're All-Americans at 124 pounds.
In 8th place from Washington, All-American Daisy Chavez. Placing 7th for California, All-American.
And you know, Richard, another thing, I've always been a fan of girls wrestling. You know, just the same as the heart and dedication that you have to have as a male, you have to have as a female too. You know, and you got to respect that. And there's going to be the women's movement, in my opinion, is going to have a lot to say about being reinstated in 2020.
Yes, sir. I mean, you can see it. You can see the technique improving at the lower levels, you know, and then just all the way up to the top.
Well, just like we saw Marcy Van Dusen, and one of the reasons that California is so successful is that grassroots movement that's going on out there. But, I mean, they have an Olympian coaching them, you know. Your champion for the second straight year, Tashia Allo of Honolulu, Hawaii, who arguably was the most impressive.
Congratulations.
That we've seen thus far.
All right, coming up, 132 pounds. Maya Nelson wrestling out of Denver, Colorado. Second here last year, going against Tatum Sparks, Othello, Washington. Fifth here a year ago.
Nelson against Sparks. And, you know, Washington's one of those states that Washington has their own separate girls tournament for high school, you know, which is a great thing. I wish more states had that. Who else has that? Alaska, I think, has it.
No, I think they
No?
wrestle with the guys in Alaska.
Do they?
Yeah, I believe so. You know, I think Texas does.
Yeah.
California. You know, the big states.
Wrestling for the championship at 132 pounds. Wearing the red singlet.
Our wrestlers are going to come to the mat now.
Here we go, Maya Nelson. Runner-up here last year. We saw Yanez earlier, a runner-up last year, trying to get that stop sign. Let's see if Nelson can do it. In her way will be Tatum Sparks in the blue. She was 5th last year.
Nelson looked real good this tournament so far.
Your officials for this match is Dwayne Henry out of Utah, Steve Richard, the chair, Taylor Coons, the judge.
So we are back to wrestling here on the center mat in the Fargo Dome. Raised platform, great atmosphere. Best wrestling tournament in the world.
Absolutely. 30 seconds in, no scoring. Inside tie for Nelson. Sparks, head tap, and goes to a high crotch. Nelson through the crotch, looking for a lift.
She's holding this off real well. Nelson needs to try and elevate here. She can't let those hips up in the air like that.
Yeah,
she can
Nelson,
get
if
tossed.
she would have committed to that lift, I think she would have got it.
Mhm.
But they're going to go back neutral, 206 and scoreless.
So from what I saw from Nelson earlier, she was, similar to Yanez, how she was pressuring that pace, pushing forward. As I say that, she gets a warning.
And there's a duck attempt by Nelson. I haven't seen anybody go on the shot clock. Have you?
I have not. But we're closing in. It's recommended 2 minutes. You start, someone's on that shot clock if it's 0-0, and we're about 30 seconds from that point. Remember, Nelson has that first warning.
Arm spin for Nelson.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Freestyle, you have to have that leg. A Merkel is not a score. Here comes a throw.
Nelson with the 2. Could have been more. But
Coming out front. Has a bundle on that side. We're going to put him back up 101 and a 2-0 lead for Nelson. Not a very big Colorado contingent, I didn't notice. Did you? Washington has a big contingent, California.
I don't know.
Texas has a lot of girls. Didn't see many Colorado girls.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Got one in the finals here, though. Nelson working a Russian now, goes underhook and a throw.
Oh, and that looks like it'll be it. Oh, that was close.
I think she might have.
She might have been
fall
down
there for a second, but it's going to be 3 and
close to the edge over there.
1
Can't
for the hold,
quite
inevitably.
tell if they're out of bounds or not.
Short time. Still did not award the 1 for the hold, I don't believe. Did they?
They did.
They did. 6-0 at the break for Nelson. She's 3 minutes away or 4 points away from a title here at 132.
That's a nice toss. She had that same opportunity over here on her first takedown.
She did.
Couldn't get the.
She was a little tentative there.
Mm-hmm.
That time, second time around, she went with it.
Yeah, I think Sparks needs to get back, staying out of those ties like that and get back in on the low.
Right. The second half, the second 2 minutes of that period was spent a lot of time upper body and hand fighting, and we saw the first shot of the match was a level change low, a high crotch from
high C.
from Sparks.
Here, I think this upper body strategy plays right into Nelson's game.
Sweet little duck there for Nelson. And she's a turn away from a title. She goes back down looking for a lace now. But they'll call them back to their feet, 222. Double knee pads are 1-0 so far, though.
It's hard to beat the double knee pads.
There's a nice arm spin by Nelson, and she completes the tech. She's your national champ. Colorado gets on the board with a cadet national champion at 132 pounds, Maya Nelson of Denver. So that's our second former runner-up.